Cryptocurrency. Introduction. A cryptocurrency is a digital or virtual currency that is secured by cryptography, which makes it nearly impossible to counterfeit or double spend. It is a digital asset designed to work as a medium of exchange where an individual coin ownership records are stored in a ledger existing in a form of computerized database using strong cryptography to secure transaction records, to control the creation of additional coins, and to verify the transfer of coin ownership. It doesn't exist in physical form like paper money and isn't issued by a central authority. Bitcoin, that released as an open source software in 2009, is the first decentralized cryptocurrency. Since the release of Bitcoin, so many of its alternative variants have been created, for example, Ethereum, Ripple, Litecoin, Monero, digitalcash, zcash, etc. If you've liked the video so far, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Number 5. Who invented cryptocurrency? Bitcoin was created in 2009 by presumably pseudonymous developer Satoshi Nakamoto. It used SHA-256, a cryptographic function, as its proof-of-work scheme. Satoshi Nakamoto is the name used by the person or the persons who developed Bitcoin, authored Bitcoin white paper, and created and deployed Bitcoin's original reference implementation. As part of the implementation, he also devised the first blockchain database. In the process, he was the first to solve the double spending problem for digital currency using a peer-to-peer network. Nakamoto was active in the development of Bitcoin up until December 2010. Many people have claimed or have been claimed to be Satoshi Nakamoto. He is claimed to be born on April 5, 1975, which makes his age to be 45 years old. He is claimed to be born in Japan and his nationality is claimed to be Japanese. Nakamoto hasn't disclosed any personal information when discussing technical matters. He provided some commentary on banking and fractional reserve banking. On his P2P Foundation profile as of 2012, he claimed to be a 37-year-old male who lives in Japan, but some speculated he was unlikely to be Japanese due to his native-level use of English and his Bitcoin software not being documented or labeled in Japanese. Some consider that Nakamoto might be a team of people. Dan Kaminsky, a security researcher who read the Bitcoin code, said that Nakamoto could either be a team of people or a genius. Nakamoto could either be a quote-unquote team of people or a quote-unquote genius. Laszlo Hanyecz, a developer who had emailed Nakamoto, had the feeling the code was too well designed for one person. John McAfee claims Satoshi is a team of 11 members. Gavin Anderson has said of Nakamoto's code, he was a brilliant coder, but it was quirky. Stefan Thomas, a Swiss coder and active community member, graphed the timestamps for each of Nakamoto's Bitcoin forum posts, the resulting chart showing a steep decline to almost no posts between the time of 5 a.m. and 11 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time. This was between 2 p.m. and 8 p.m. Japanese time, suggesting an unusual sleep pattern for someone presumably living in Japan. As this pattern held true even on Saturdays and Sundays, it suggested that Nakamoto was asleep at this time. Number 4. What is cryptocurrency? It is an internet-based medium of exchange which uses cryptographical functions to conduct financial transactions. Cryptocurrencies leverage blockchain technology to gain decentralization, transparency, and immutability. The most important feature of a cryptocurrency is that it is not controlled by any central authority. The decentralized nature of the blockchain makes cryptocurrencies theoretically immune to the old ways of government control and interference. Cryptocurrencies can be sent directly between two parties via the use of private and public keys. These transfers can be done with minimal processing fees, allowing users to avoid the steep fees charged by traditional financial institutions. Today, cryptocurrencies have become a global phenomenon known to most people. Nowadays, you will have a hard time finding a major bank, a big accounting firm, a prominent software company, or a government that didn't research cryptocurrencies, publish a paper about it, or start a so-called blockchain project. Virtual currencies, sometimes most notably Bitcoin, have captured the imagination of some, struck fear among others, and confused the heck out of the rest of us, says Thomas Carper, a U.S. Senator. But beyond the noise and the press releases, the overwhelming majority of people, even bankers, consultants in sciences, and developers, have very limited knowledge about cryptocurrencies. They often fail to even understand the basic concepts. Many people don't know Bitcoin's inventor, the first and still the most important cryptocurrency, was never intended to invent a currency. In his announcement of Bitcoin in late 2008, he said he had developed a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. His goal was to invent something many people had failed to create before digital cash. The single and most important part of his invention was that he found a way to build a decentralized digital cash system. In the 90s, there have been many attempts to create digital money, but they all failed. Number 3. When is the best time to buy cryptocurrencies? Even though there are no trading sessions that account for more or less volume, there are certain parameters to take into account before buying cryptocurrency. According to multiple analysis on average daily Bitcoin prices, Sunday and Monday are the best days to buy BTC. The sole reason behind this statement is that prices tend to be at its lowest in these days. Traditional stock markets operate only during certain hours of the day and week, but the cryptocurrency market is open 24/7. It means you can buy, sell, exchange, and trade cryptocurrencies anytime as long as you have an internet connection. The demand for Bitcoin slows down during the weekends, pushing its price to be lower on Mondays. On the contrary, Bitcoin price is assumed to be high on Fridays and Saturdays. Another theory suggests people decide to buy Bitcoin during the weekends and execute orders as soon as the week begins. In this scenario, volumes are higher on Mondays and a more cautious behavior expected as the week goes by. Experienced traders would typically avoid buying Bitcoin in dates 9 to 5 workers get paid, usually in the middle and the end of the month. The logic is simple. People have money in their pockets can buy Bitcoin, driving demand and its price higher. The next issue to resolve would be the specific time frame to buy Bitcoin. As previously mentioned, Bitcoin isn't tied to rigid schedules such as stocks and even fiat currencies. Both the stock and forex markets tend to react to expected announcements at certain times of the day. With cryptocurrencies, it all gets a bit blurred since they don't follow the same behavior or respond to the same kind of announcements. Number 2. Where is cryptocurrency stored? Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies are stored in a wallet address contained in a centralized database called the blockchain. This is where all the wallet addresses and amounts are stored. All the Bitcoin addresses contain 2 variables, a public key and a private key. This is the essence. For online wallets, the public key is usually generated, but the private key is stored internally. What's empowering is that you don't physically keep the amount locally on a computer. As long as you have the key or keys backed up, you can access those coins anywhere throughout any online tool. With online wallets, you need to ensure that the wallet provider is credible. Number 1. Why is Bitcoin illegal? As of February 2020, Bitcoin was illegal in the US, Japan, the UK, Canada, and most other developed countries. In the emerging markets, the legal status of Bitcoin still varied dramatically. China heavily restricted Bitcoin without actually criminalizing the holding of Bitcoins. India banned banks from dealing in Bitcoins and left the overall status of cryptocurrencies unclear. In general, it is necessary to look at Bitcoin laws in specific countries. Even where Bitcoin is legal, most of the laws that apply to other assets also apply to Bitcoin. The tax laws are the area where most people are likely to run into trouble. For tax purposes, Bitcoins are usually treated as property rather than currency. Bitcoin is generally not considered legal tender. In the United States, the IRS has taken an increasing interest in Bitcoin and issued guidelines. In 2014, the agency issued IRS Notice 2024-21 to provide information on the tax treatment of virtual currencies. Virtual currency is the term that IRS uses for cryptocurrency. In 2020, the IRS created a new tax form requiring taxpayers to declare if they engaged in any virtual currency transactions during 2019. Bitcoin exists in a deregulated marketplace, so there is no centralized issuing authority. Bitcoin addresses do not require social security numbers or other personal information like standard bank accounts in the United States. That initially raised concerns about the use of Bitcoins for illegal activity. In its early years, the perceived anonymity of Bitcoin led to many illegal uses. Drug traffickers were known to use it, with the best-known example being the Silk Road market. It was a section of the so-called dark web where users could buy illicit drugs. All transactions on the Silk Road used Bitcoins. It was eventually shut down by the FBI in October 2013. But like every other thing, it has its own pros and cons. If you liked the video, be sure to subscribe to our channel and give this video a thumbs up.